What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Night show. But this is for the Wednesday games. You see what I'm saying, man? Basically, Wednesday NBA talk with Jay, trying to get some cash every single day, man. Whether I'm coming off a bad day or a good day. You see what I'm saying? Trash ass Raptors didn't come through for us. I'm sorry if you thought I was going to hit 100%, but it's never going to happen. But sorry about that loss. I guarantee you, I lost more money on it than you did, my guys. But I'm not here to waste your time. I'm about to go through every single game. Well, most of them. Every single team is playing tomorrow, obviously, with some of them being off on Thanksgiving, but gonna go through the whole card, let you know what I'm looking at, let you know what I bet as well. In this one, my guys, before this line gets even worse, man. Let's head over here to the streets of Orlando in this one, man. Magic getting 4 points at the house versus the Denver Nuggets in this one. Nuggets have not been looking good on the road so far this year, my guys. They are what 1-6 against the spread on the road. The Nuggets are in this one, man. The Magic 8-2 ATS last 10 games. Let me put my glasses on, man. Put my damn glasses on. But Nuggets 1-6 against the spread on the road, even though they're 10-4 so far on the season. They're starting to slide 3-7 against the spread last 10, 3-4 straight up on the road, and 1-6 is against the spread as well. Magic been playing some good ball, 8-2 against the spread last 10, 4-1 ATS at the house, 4-2 straight up at the house as well, man. So Magic have been balling out, even with missing Fultz and Wendell Carter Jr. They're still balling, my guys. So not really sure what to do with that game. Obviously, the Nuggets are the better team, but they're just not really coming to ball right now and really showing that they want to smack everybody up. You see what I'm saying? So tough look for me on that one. I don't even really have much written down on that one, man. I know that it is the Nuggets fourth. It's fourth and six nights. Uh, yeah, fourth and six nights on the road, and like I say, they're 1-6 against the spread as well, man. So if you like to take the Magic, they've been playing good ball. I couldn't talk you off in that one. Nothing for me in that one, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Charlotte in this one. Got the Hornets laying 4 points at the house versus the Washington Wizards. Wizards are the worst team in the NBA. Hornets aren't all that much better, but they still have guys that are playing hard, like LaMelo Ball, PJ Washington, Mark Williams as well, man. Still got Gordon Hayward whenever he's not injured. You see what I'm saying? So Hornets, I know that Bridges did have a cold. Obviously, they just lost to the Wizards not too long ago at the house as well, and Miles Bridges says he remembered that they lost 132 to 116 at the house and then turned around and beat the Wizards at their house in a tournament game as well. Bridges says we playing the Wizards next, so we've got to build off this game. They beat us at the crib by a lot, so that should mean a lot for us. It should be good motivation for us as well. Wizards are 0-6 straight up and 1-5 in against the spread in their last 6 games. I'm really never looking towards taking the Wizards. They're 2-11 straight up on the season. It's not going to get much better. This team will start tanking at some point, man. I know I started talking bad about them and shit, but this team really is absolutely horrible, and they just have no direction right now. The players are out there just collecting checks. So actually strongly lean to the Hornets -4. If Bridges is saying, hey, look, we remember that loss at the house, that means the rest of the team does as well. And that means they want to come out here and smack the Wizards, and they can as well. Even though their bench isn't that good, the Hornets, their starting five can go out there and smoke the Wizards if they want to. I'm expecting a lot better effort coming from the Hornets at the house in this one. I heavily lean their way. -4 at the house, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Atlanta in this one. Hawks laying 4 at the house versus the Brooklyn Nets. Hawks had a 20-point lead versus the Indiana Pacers, end up losing it as well, man. This is the 4th straight home game for the Atlanta Hawks. They've lost their previous 3 games at the house, man. So this is the last game of that homestand, which is kind of like a must-win game. You don't want to lose all 4 games at the house. They're coming off a game that they led by 20 points versus the Pacers in that one, man. This is a back-to-back, but they had 3 days off. The first off, they hadn't had to travel, and they had 3 days off before the game versus the Pacers as well. So maybe this is the game where they're in a little bit more rhythm as well. Like I said, last game of a homestand, they go out on a 5-game road trip after this one. It starts on November 25th, so it's not like they're flying right out after this game. They're going to get a chance to have Thanksgiving with their families and stuff. Families probably in town, all type of stuff, man. But I feel like this is somewhat of a must-win game for the Hawks in this one. They lost 3 of the 4 games last year to the Nets as well. So I feel like I know that the Hawks looked horrible. They didn't look horrible, but they lost a up and down game versus the Pacers in that one, but this could be a bounce back spot here for the Hawks. Like I said, it's a back to back, but not a regular back to back. Seeing that they didn't have to travel anywhere and they had 3 days off before the back to back, so it's not third and four, any of that. They had a ton of time off. They should still be pretty fresh in this one, even though they just ran up and down the court with the Pacers. Nets, in theory, have the rest advantage, but I could only look towards the Hawks in this. So I actually heavily lean the Hawks way minus the 4. I think they get it done in this particular game, man. They could come out here and smack the Nets up, this version of the Nets, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Indiana in this one. Pacers land 4 points at the house versus the Toronto Raptors in this one. Raptors are absolutely ass. This team is horrible, man. They can't shoot for shit. They supposed to be a defensive team and give up like 60 points to the Magic in the first half, man. So fuck the Raptors. Never looking towards taking them. The Pacers have owned them of late. They've won 3 straight up and against the spread all 3 games last year as well. So the Pacers, they could run this Raptors team off the floor, man. I'm just like, screw this Raptors team right now. I thought that they were a little bit better than they were, that they were starting to get better. They came out there and laid an egg tonight. I can't get too pissed at them, but I'm not looking towards betting them. I'm not betting the Pacers here as well, because I've seen them have a letdown in this same spot, go on the road, have a good tournament win, and then come to the house and have a dud and basically shit the bed versus the Charlotte Hornets as well. But I'm not looking towards taking the Raptors. Maybe I am a little pissed at them, but I'm not messing with this game whatsoever. Fuck the Raptors, man. Fuck the Toronto Raptors, I could say, because I really do hate that team anyway, to be honest with you. I've hated them ever since, but the biggest bet I've ever probably cashed off of was the Boston Celtics versus the Raptors game 7. I forget, it was like 3 years ago, man, when I went to Mississippi. Yeah, real ones know. I showed y'all the tickets, man. Cashed out 30 bands on that game, my guys. But fuck the Raptors, man. I hate that team. Let's go over to the streets of Boston in this one. And Celtics land 5.5 points at the house versus the Milwaukee Bucks in this one. Drew Holiday revenge factor in this one, man. Bucks are playing in a different arena for a 10th straight game. They've been traveling all over the place. Bucks are starting to get hot. 5-0 last 5, 4-0 ATS streak as well. The Celtics just had the loss after winning 6 straight as well. Celtics 4-1 straight up and 5-0 against the spread last 5 meetings. It's a really tough game. I'll be honest with you. I do lean towards the Celtics, but at 5.5, it's just a really tough game. The Celtics are obviously much better than the Bucks. They can hang with them offensively, and the Celtics are definitely the better defensive team, even though the Bucks got Giannis and Brook Lopez over there. Dame Lillard and Malik Beasley they're giving up buckets in bunches, man. They're giving up buckets in bunches. So this is going to be a really great game. I could possibly see a tight game, to be perfectly honest with you, where it goes down to the wire. I lean towards the Celtics. I don't want to lay the 5.5 though, my guys, but they are the team that's coming off of coming off of a loss after the win streak, whereas the Bucks are hot. We know the Celtics are going to take this game serious, but Bucks are as well. These aren't the type of games that I like to bet, to be perfectly honest with you. I could see it going either way. Best of luck, whatever you choose to bet in this particular game, man. Let's go over to the streets of Cleveland in this one. I don't have anything written down on this game. Don't really have a strong feel for it. Cavs getting 2 at the house versus the Heat. Obviously, the Heat have the rest advantage, but the Heat are just like they're like a Jekyll and Hyde type of team, man. Really hard to figure out. Now, they have been hot. They've won 8. They're 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games. We know that they're missing Hero. We know that this team can struggle offensively sometimes. On the Cavs, they're due for a letdown here, in theory, coming off a big game versus Philly. And it went to overtime as well. And you have to travel back to the house. We don't know what's going to happen with Donovan Mitchell. We don't know what's going to happen with LeVert as well. So, and the Heat had just came off a 7-game win streak. They lost versus the Bulls and then bounced back and beat the Bulls the next time around, man. So, to be honest with you, 2 really tough type of teams to figure out. Obviously, the Heat have the rest advantage, especially with Cavs going to overtime. Would probably lean towards the Heat's way. But if they came out here and threw a dud, I also wouldn't be surprised as well, man. But if I had to bet it, I'd be taking the Heat minus the 2 for the main factor that the Cavs went into OT in a big tournament win versus the 76ers, but not something super strong, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans here. Another one that I don't really have much on. I just try to go through every single game. Kings are laying 2 now. They get Huerta back. And remember the last game, we was all over the Pelicans, but that was the it was a bad scheduling spot for the Kings. Now somewhat equal rest, even though the Pelicans have been at the house for a while. So that's where it's a little bit different because we know the Kings, they're not the same on the road. They can ball on the road, but they're still not the same team on the road. And also, I don't bet against teams that's been at the house for a while, man. This is the Pelicans, what, fifth straight? This is the Pelicans' sixth straight home game. So even though the Kings are not at a rest disadvantage here, the Pelicans can still get whatever they want in the paint. You saw it last game. Zion driving to the paint. Brandon Ingram going to the paint. Valanciunas down low. They can own the paint once again. Even though the Kings have revenge after getting smoked, the Pelicans still can play that same type of game. If they come here and play the same type of game, they can smack the Kings once again. So if you look at the line is telling you that the Kings probably bounce back in this one. But I know basketball-wise, they can't stop Zion down low. They cannot stop. He can go to the basket every single time and get about 30 points and 10 rebounds in this game, my guys. So I'm not gonna bet it. Revenge game. Jay Angle would say to take the Kings here, but I know that the Pelicans have been at the house 6 straight games, hadn't had to travel anywhere. They're getting comfortable. 4-0 against the spread streak at the house as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans got it done once again, to be perfectly honest with you, mainly because of the matchup down low, man. The Kings have been playing good defense, but you still can't stop Zion or Brandon Ingram or Valanciunas in this game. Jose Alvarado came back, gave him some energy off the bench as well. Got guys like Najee Marshall coming off the bench. They could get whatever they want in the paint in this one, my guys. 4 more games here. 5 more games. Let's go over to the streets of OKC here. Thunder laying 7 at the house versus the Bulls. Even though there's no Jalen Williams and Thunder coming back home off of a road trip, I'm not looking towards taking the Bulls. That's just me. And it's just something that I really don't even have to cap the game because no matter what the numbers or stats say, the Bulls, we know that they're in disarray right now with the Zach LaVine shit. We've seen them again, like fighting with teammates and stuff like that, with him getting into it with the team and stuff. So I just can't look towards the Bulls right now. I'm sorry. It was one of those where, and I always encourage people, look at the games yourself as well. Whether you're watching me or other people on YouTube, sometimes you have to look at the games yourself and kind of know what you're going to like. I'm going to talk about a game later today that this line was up since like 4 p.m. since I'd say like 5 p.m. Eastern today. So I'm saying if you knew that you liked this spot, you could have hopped on it a lot earlier, but I'll get to it. But it could only look towards Thunder. They're not in the best of spots, but they're just playing too good of basketball right now for me to be fading them. So it's not that I'm looking towards taking the Thunder, but I know for a fact that I'm not fading them, and I know for a fact that I'm not taking the Bulls as well, my guys. Bulls actually have a little roster. They just have all this inner turmoil, and they have a bad coach. Thunder have a much better coach in this one, my guys. So can't bet against the Thunder. You just can't do it, man. They're what 11-3 against the spread so far this season, guys. I'm not betting against them. It's simple. Let's go over here to the streets of San Antonio here. I can't bet the Spurs. I can't even look towards their way. You see the Clippers get right versus them last game. The Spurs defense is ass. Their offense is inconsistent. They don't have a point guard. I'll say it a million times. Sochan is not a point guard. The numbers back it up. While he's out there running a point guard, it's like the point differential is absolutely horrible, man. It's like Pop is like trying to tank once again. You just got tanked for the number 1 pick. They're tanking again. But starting Sochan at the point guard, that's tanking in my opinion. I can't look the Spurs way. The Clippers could win this game by 20 plus again if they wanted to, in my opinion, man. Let's go over here to the streets of Houston in this one, man. Rockets land 5.5 at the house. Dylan Brooks says, quote, it's like the old girlfriend that you used to have. You don't know how good it was until she's gone. So, he's talking plenty of shit. He said that the Grizzlies don't have any swagger right now, but I'd have to lean Rockets here. Rockets come back to the house after losing all 3 road games. This is where they ball out at 6-0 straight up and 5-0, 5-0-1 against the spread in their last 6 games at the house. They've lost 9 of the last 10 meetings versus the Grizzlies as well. And so I'm sure Doka knows that. I'm sure he's saying, hey, look, we used to get smoked by the Grizzlies. Now we're the much better team. It's our time to smack them up. I lean the Rockets there minus the 5.5. They are coming home off a West Coast road trip. Grizzlies have quietly covered 3 straight games. But like I said, I'm just the Grizzlies team is bad, man. If Bane isn't going crazy, no, they've covered 3 out of the last 4. If Bane isn't going crazy from 3, if Jaren Jackson Jr. he can get in foul trouble, I just can't trust the team, man. I can't trust the Grizzlies. It's Rockets or nothing for me in this particular game. Now let's go to the game that I did bet. Now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. If you're capping these games or like trying to look ahead, you should know that I was going to be on the Wolves in this game, man. I did take them at an earlier line. I'm not even. It doesn't even matter to me. Come on here, say I took it at an early line. I do like the Wolves up to -6, my guys. I do like this spot for the Wolves. I did expect the 76ers to win tonight. It would have made it a lot better, but it did go to overtime to at least sweeten that part up. Wolves 6-0 straight up and against the spread at the house. This is where they ball out. They won 9 of the last 10, won 9 of their last 10 games as well. They do have more depth coming off the bench as well than the 76ers. 76ers had 2 road games. They came home for 1 home game, the OT loss versus the Cavs, then back out on the road as well. And they got 3 days off after this, or 2 days off after this game. So they're gonna go back home and have Thanksgiving with their family as well. I just feel like this is somewhat like a scheduled loss spot for the Sixers. They're probably gonna be trying to ready to get back to the house to have Thanksgiving with their family and friends and things like that. Now they have historically done well versus the Wolves, but in this particular spot, the Wolves have the major advantage. They've lost 8 of the last 10 to the Sixers in this one. So for whatever reason, Sixers do try to turn up when they play the Wolves. But in this particular spot, I think this is the Wolves game. They got the #1 defense in the NBA. They got the rest advantage in this spot. This is a back-to-back 3rd and 4, 4th and 6 for the 76ers as well, plus an OT game as well, man. Embiid, 41 minutes. Maxey, 47 minutes. Tobias Harris, 43 minutes as well. So like I say, I just feel like the Sixers could be looking ahead to Thanksgiving with their families, my guys. So I did take the Wolves at an earlier number. I sent it out to the members, all that type of stuff. But I still like it up to -6. So it doesn't matter. I still like the Wolves minus the 5.5. It's basically 5.5 across the board, my guys. So Wolves, howling with the Wolves. I was raised by Wolves as well. Let's go to Smack City. I think the Wolves take the 76ers to Smack City, my guys. Couple more games here. Suns land 2 at the house versus the Golden State Warriors in this one. It is a revenge spot for the Warriors. They lost earlier this year to the Phoenix Suns. They do have the rest advantage. We know Clay and Booker, they got beef. You see what I'm saying? I don't really have a good feel for this game. Suns have won 5 of the last 6 versus the Warriors. Warriors are not playing well right now, but I also could see them coming off their homestand, which I kind of said this early in the season that I feel like it might flip. Warriors have been road warriors playing well on the road, but didn't play good at all at the house. They had a 6-game homestand. They went 1-5 straight up and against the spread in that homestand. So maybe they need to get out on the road. They got a lot of injuries right now. Obviously, Draymond is still suspended. They need Gary Payton second. They need his defense coming off the bench. See what I'm saying? So would I be surprised if the Warriors got it done? I wouldn't, but I don't really have a strong feel for this game. I'm not messing with this game, man. I could see it going either way in this one, my guys. Now, one I couldn't see going either way. I'd heavily lean towards the Mavs minus the 1.5. I was looking deeper into this spot. I said the Mavs are laying 1.5 on this spot for a reason, man. You got the Lakers coming off a big tournament win. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't a close game, which means nobody really had to play a ton of minutes, and they didn't have to travel anywhere. But the Mavs have done really well versus the Lakers of late, man. They've won 5 of the last. They're 5-1 straight up, and 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 meetings versus the Lakers. No matter if they're playing at the house, playing in LA, they just seem to come to play. Luka comes to play versus the Lakers, man. They're 7-2-1 against the spread last 10 as well. So just going back to 2020, man, the Mavs have done well versus this team. Mavs coming off 2 tough losses. They had 2 days to rest and to steam over those losses as well. So they have the major rest advantage here. Lakers won 6 of the last 7, but it was versus poor competition though. Look at the teams they've been beating. They beat up on the Utah Jazz. They won versus the Rockets versus 1. Had to come back and win that game. They beat the Blazers twice in that span. One good team that they faced was the Kings, and they got smacked by 15 points. The other team that they beat was the Memphis Grizzlies. So you beat the Blazers twice, you beat the Grizzlies, you beat the Rockets, and you beat the Jazz as well. All kind of bottom tier teams. You know what I'm saying? Rockets aren't really a bottom tier team, not anymore. But like I said, they struggled to win that game. The one good team at the house, they got smacked on a back-to-back versus the Kings. I think that the Mavs take the Lakers to Smack City. LeBron questionable, all this shit. They might sit LeBron in this spot, man. Even though he didn't play a ton of minutes, they could be ready for having Thanksgiving with their family as well. So Lakers are starting to play a lot better, but I do think this is a spot where Kyrie and Luka come to play. Obviously going to need Tim Hardaway Jr. hitting some threes. You're going to need to come to play Josh Green. You're going to need Lively to play a great game to bang with AD down there. I heavily lean to the Mavs minus the 1.5 in this one, my guys. Barely have a voice yelling at the fucking TV all day, man, but power through a show, man. Everybody that's here coming to watch the night show, I appreciate you. It's all love. love, man. Let's get this cash. We will win. Howling with the Wolves, man. It's all love. I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving, man. If you're celebrating, have fun with your family, all that good stuff, man. I'm out, man. I'm finna go get some rest. It's all love. We out, man. Let's go. Let's get this cash, baby. We out. Let's go. Oh!